Choosing the best antibiotics for racing pigeons. Racing pigeons are bred for speed, endurance and homing instincts. However, they are susceptible to various bacterial, viral and fungal infections. Bacterial infections in particular can rapidly spread through a loft and affect performance. Having the right antibiotics on hand is key to promptly treating affected birds and preventing outbreaks. When choosing an antibiotic for pigeons, there are several factors to consider, including spectrum of activity, safety, formulation, cost and current resistance patterns. The most commonly used antibiotics in racing pigeon medicine are Doxycycline, Enrofloxacin, Amoxicillin, trimethoprim-sulfa, Tylosin. Each antibiotic has advantages and disadvantages for use in pigeons. Working with a veterinarian familiar with racing pigeon care can help select the most appropriate antibiotic for specific situations. Doxycycline. Doxycycline is a broad-spectrum tetracycline antibiotic that covers a wide range of gram-positive and gram-negative bacterial pathogens. It has excellent efficacy against common respiratory infections caused by Mycoplasma gallisepticum, E-Coli, Streptococcus, and more. Doxycycline penetrates well into tissues and is also effective for treating ornithosis, paratyphoid, and Salmonella infections. Advantages of doxycycline include its broad-spectrum coverage, high activity against Mycoplasma respiratory infections, and once-daily dosing. It is also reasonably affordable. Disadvantages are that it can cause vomiting or esophagitis if not properly administered, and long-term use may promote fungal overgrowth in the crop. Bacterial resistance is also increasing. Enrofloxacin. Enrofloxacin is a fluoroquinolone antibiotic used for treating serious systemic infections in racing pigeons including paratyphoid, Salmonella, colobacillosis, and mycoplasmosis. It has excellent bactericidal activity and penetrates tissues well. The main advantages of enrofloxacin are its potency against intracellular pathogens and penetration into tissues. It is effective when infections localize and persist despite treatment with other antibiotics. Downsides are the high cost, limited spectrum against gram-positive bacteria, and concerns about resistance with overuse. Amoxicillin. Amoxicillin is an aminopenicillin antibiotic with broad-spectrum coverage of gram-positive and some gram-negative bacteria. It is commonly used to treat E. coli, Streptococcus, Staphylococcus, and Mycoplasma infections. Amoxicillin is safe, well tolerated, and comes in palatable formulations for pigeons. Benefits of amoxicillin are the broad-spectrum coverage, safety, affordability and availability of oral liquid or tablet formulations. It lacks potency against some gram-negative bacteria, however. Frequent dosing is needed due to its short half-life. Resistance is also increasing among isolated bacteria. Trimethoprim-sulfa. The combination antibiotic trimethoprim-sulfa, TMP-SMX, is sometimes used for resistant infections when narrower spectrum coverage is desired. The synergy between the two drugs expands the spectrum beyond each individual component. TMP-SMX is most effective against Streptococcus, Staphylococcus, E. coli, Salmonella and Proteus spp. Trimethoprim-sulfa is economical and fast-acting with good tissue penetration. The combination prevents resistance. However, there is a higher risk of adverse effects including diarrhea. Individual bacteria may also show innate resistance. Use requires caution and susceptibility testing. Tylosin. Tylosin is a macrolide antibiotic used for treating mycoplasma infections, cholera, and chronic respiratory disease, CRD, in pigeons. It penetrates well into respiratory tissues. Tylosin also has some anti-inflammatory effects that may benefit birds with CRD. The advantages of Tylosin are its effectiveness against mycoplasma infections, good tissue penetration, and added anti-inflammatory effects. It is more expensive than other options, however. Tylosin use requires keeping birds out of races for 5 days post-treatment. Resistance among mycoplasma strains is increasing. Best practices. When using antibiotics in racing pigeons, some best practices include choosing narrow-spectrum antibiotics whenever possible. Culturing samples to determine most effective antibiotic. Avoiding overuse of any single antibiotic class. Rotating antibiotics used over time. Completing full treatment courses at proper doses. Isolating and not racing sick birds. Disinfecting the loft during treatment. Working with a veterinarian experienced in racing pigeon medicine. Following these practices helps preserve antibiotic efficacy and performance of the flock. Having an arsenal of safe, effective antibiotics on hand allows prompt treatment of bacterial infections. Work with an avian veterinarian to determine the most appropriate antibiotic for each situation based on presenting symptoms, antibiotic susceptibilities in your area, formulation available and cost considerations. There are many reasons to buy my racing pigeon method. Here are some of the best reasons. You will get excellent results. It's a very simple system to use. It's affordable. I have had over 400 first prize winners. It's adaptable to any situation. You can use it with any racing method, natural, widowhood, young birds. It's a very effective method. There is no need to spend a lot of money on fancy pigeon products. It's a reliable system and it is foolproof to use. Professional athletes, race horses, take the same products. There is science behind this, not just hearsay. It is all to do with red blood cells and oxygen in the blood. Without that, a pigeon will not race well, or an athlete will not win a race. If he has low oxygen in his blood, the above is fact and is 100% science. There are a few things you can do to improve your chances of winning at racing pigeons. One of the most important things is to learn as much as you can about the sport. You'll need to know the different types of pigeons, how to train them, and how to race them. Another key factor is practice. You'll need to be able to fly your pigeons competently in order to win races. And, of course, you'll need to have the funds to invest in racing pigeons and other racing equipment.